Hey guys, it's me, it's Crimson Fairy. It's been a long time since I've done a vlog. Actually it's been a whole month since I've done a vlog. I've been off of work now for exactly a month and not much has changed. I'm still kind of doing my home business thing and figuring things out, but tonight I felt like canning some apples, and I've been missing you guys and missing getting out there on the camera. So here I am in my kitchen. I'm sorry it's a little messy. We actually did work really hard on cleaning it. I don't have it completely ready, but hey, you know, we're just gonna kind of get there. So I was at my grandma's the other day, and she was telling me about this incredibly easy way to can apples. And the last time I canned apples, it didn't turn out so good. So I'm going to do it again and hope for the best. So, yeah, anyway, I'm going to be kind of in and out of the camera shot. This is me sitting at the table. This is my apple peeler, core, slicer, doohickey. So that's not a good thing. Okay, it's supposed to be there we go. I was like, it won't go down. Actually, you know what? I want to core it from this direction because I crank better with my right hand. Alright, awesome. It'll just make for this a little bit more awkward, but that is okay. So let me see. So that's the slicer. It's the core, and that's the peeler. Yeah, I was trying to see if I could make my slices a little bit bigger, but I don't think I have an adjustment option for thickness because the blade is where the core is, and it has to do with the spacing of the threads. Alright, so let me get a couple more tools that I need. I don't know why I'm in the dish cupboard. Alright, so a cutting board. One of my handy dandy knives. Wolf, he's not going there. Alright, and my super sharp peeler just in case I need it. And something else I need. Let me see. I think that's it. I'm going to switch the chairs around real quick. The reason why I did that is because I was actually sitting in my son's chair, and on my chair I have a... I know what I forgot. Hold on. A chair cushion. Alright. I need a garbage bowl for my peels and cores. Alright, so I have an older bag of apples I'm going to start with. I'm going to cut that open. Yeah, see, these so waxy feeling. And then I've got a great big bowl. This bowl's huge. That I'm going to put my slices in when they're done. So I probably should put those. Well, that didn't work out as I wanted it to. Put those there. Whoops, knocked the camera. Alright, I can sort of see that you guys can see the core slicer thing as it's going on. My hubby was drinking Midnight Moonshine. I think it's good. Yeah, Midnight Moonshine. Apple pie flavored. I don't care for the stuff. Alright, now I forget. I think I just push. Alright. And let the cranking begin. So alright. So we have ourselves here one of them there. Oh, I forget what they're called. No, you cannot eat that. Kitten over here. Alright, so now that that's done, I just very easily slide this off the core. I check it out for any imperfections. And what I'm going to do with my paring knife is I'm just very simply going to cut my apple in half and just drop it in my bowl. Put the core back through, and then I hit this reset switch there, and I grab my next apple. I'm going to stuff that bad boy on there and just begin to crank again. We would do this about every afternoon for the kids' snack after school. I bought one of these from our local kitchen store, and I paid, I don't know, $12 for this. Pampered Chef makes one, but it's honestly a little bit too expensive and just not worth it. It's much bigger, clunkier, and it's no more adjustable than this thing is, as I almost shoot my bowl off the table. So this worries me a little bit. Yeah, it should be alright. Oh, gotta hit my reset switch. Okay. Put my apple on. Hi, Simon. You don't like apples. And begin to crank. Whee! Now I think I can choose the sensitivity on the tension of the peeler, but honestly, I'm pretty happy with it. Hey, 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 that is my leg you're clawing. Very easy. This apple's crumbling pretty easily anyway. I already have my mason jars all nice and clean. They're not hot. My grandma said they don't need to be hot. We went over to her dinner. We went over to her house for dinner last Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday, because I was busy Monday. And move the camera over a little bit. Anyway, her house, Tuesday, dinner. Oh, dessert. She had made an apple pie for us, and it's always homemade. She was fretting and got pretty upset, and she's like, well, I hope you don't mind I use canned apples. And I'm thinking canned apples from the store, whereas normally, you know, she makes her own fresh apple pies, right, you know, from like this, fresh apples and a pie. I'm like, Grandma, it's fine. It's just apples. I mean, really. She's got the best pie crust in the county anyway. Whoop, 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 whoop. Making a huge mess with that. So then she said, no, I canned my own apples. And I'm like, you canned these? She says, yeah, these are about 4 years old. I'm like, and I didn't just die? These are okay? How did you do that? Because I know she doesn't pressure boil her canned goods. So I was like, Graham, can you teach me? And she says, sure. All you do is like A, B, and C. And it was the simplest 3 steps you'd ever think for as far as like canning goes. I'm like, shoot. Canning pickles is harder than that. But basically I just take a jar. I take my raw apples and I put them in the jar. I don't even cook them. And then I make my boiled mixture, which is just simply 1 cup of sugar to every 3 cups of water. Boom. And I was like, really? Really, Grandma? That's it? And she says, yep. You boil it, you add some starch to it to thicken it up, which I would make a roux because I'm a chef. I don't just add starch to anything. I gotta work while I'm talking. I got a really bad habit of not working and talking. So I was like, okay, then what? So after you got your sauce ready, and you already have your apples are chilling out in their little jars, you just pour this molten lava over the apples until they've got what's called a 1/2 inch header. That means that there's a 1/2 inch head space, air space between the liquid and food and the rim. You can go all the way up to, in canning recipes, to 1/4 inch headers. There's 3/4, 1/2 inch, and 1/4 inch headers. And each recipe is going to have its own specification. I'm not even sure why. I just know that header is very important. So she goes, eh. So I said, okay, Grandma, 1/2 inch. She goes, yeah, about that. I love you so much, Grandma. So I had a bag of apples, which is what I'm using right now, and they needed used. I have a really bad habit of not cutting them up and giving them to the kids, and just because I'm lazy. Completely forgot about my apple peel core slicer. I mean, look at this. Look at that. Look at all this. That's amazing. You just, come on. It's not cooperating. So you have this nice thin apple slice. Yum. Now, she told me leave a slice this big. But in order for me to do that, I would have to hand peel these suckers. And if any of you guys know me, I'm lazy. Like, really lazy. If there's a shortcut or a way that I can do it a different way that's easier, I will do it that way. Why do you think I'm using this contraption? I mean, I don't even know how many apples I've done so far. I think this is, what, my 5th one or something like that. Is that window still open? Oh, I didn't even realize the window behind me was still open. I heard fire trucks all of a sudden. I'm like, whoa, what's going on? I was done cooking hours ago. I did set off my smoke detector, by the way. I was cooking hubby some seared tuna, and I set off the alarm. I usually do, because the skin gets all nice and blackened, and it wasn't even all that blackened. It was just enough to make the smoke detector hate me. Come on, I want this piece of skin. Fine, break you off, throw you away. Put that in there, throw that away. Ugh, good Lord. Okay, last apple for this bag. I can just put that bag down in there. That's what Rachel Ray calls your garbage bowl. Okay. Spiralizer. That's the word I was trying to think of. I almost bought a spiralizer, and then I was like, you know what? What the heck am I ever going to use that for? I'm never going to spiralize anything. I did watch a few YouTube videos on people making some spiralized dishes with zucchini. That's about the only thing I would spiralize, by the way, is zucchini. Just because it is so darn tasty. Oh, fine. F it. Okay. Itchy. Don't want to put apple in my hair. Might smell good, though. Ooh. I should have opened up these other bags before I got all yucky. Oh, they're already turning brown. Hold on, I'm gonna put some water in here. That's the bad thing about apples. They turn brown so fast. Alright, got my cold water. I know you guys can still hear me. You just can't see me. Then what I have to do is I have to put some good old lemon juice in there. That will can help keep that from oxidizing even more while I'm trying to work on this. It's the acidity in the lemon juice that keeps the apples from turning brown, but it doesn't hurt the apples in any way because there's so little of it in there. Alright. Dry off my hands here. And I will bring this now really heavy bowl full of watered apples. And while my hands are clean, whoop, come over here and do that. I haven't started my sauce mixture yet because I don't know how much water I'm going to need. I figure I'm going to take my quart jars and I will fill those up with apple pieces first. And then after that, I will sit down probably with pen and paper, or I don't know, figure out how many cups. Because technically, I don't know. The jars say 3.5 cups is what they hold. Actually, hang on a second. Three times 8 is 24, so 24, and I think that's a half, because that's 2 to 3, and then, I mean, if I have to, I'll get my Pyrex dish. Oh, wait, what I can do is I can fill it with my apples, and then fill it with water, and then use my hand like this to pour it in my Pyrex dish to see how much water actually fits around the apples, to see what the displacement amount is. Genius! Alright, so back to peeling, because I really don't want to be doing this all freaking night, because it's 9:30 at night. I don't know why I decided to do this now, but I did. Probably because I'm tired of sitting on my computer. I've been playing this new game called Trove on Steam, and I don't know if anybody else has heard of it before. Oh, frack. But, it's quite an addictive game. This is a completely different apple type than what I was using before. So for some reason, it's being a little ornery. And I don't know why. Well, I will just have to teach it a lesson now. The hell is that noise? Something's like hissing over there, and I'm like, what the hell? Pull out a couple apples. So I went to the store today to go get some hot dog buns for our dinner, because, whoops, I thought we needed some hot dog buns. Turns out we didn't, but whatever. We have some extras now. While we were at the store, we always pass the produce aisle, and this is one of our cheaper stores that offers discounted produce, or not, I mean discounted food prices. It's kind of like an Aldi, if anybody has an Aldi around them, you know, a cheaper food store. That's kind of what this is. Anyway, so as we were passing up, or we were in the produce, I saw the apples were like $2.50 for a bag of apples. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Look how cheap that is. So I grabbed 2 bags of apples, and they are Gala apples. 3 pounds. So I got 6 pounds of apples for $6. I didn't bad at all. I mean, that's like $1 a pound. Actually, that's the going price for apples. Now that I really mathed it out. Oh well. Walmart's apples are much more expensive than that. Although I get usually a more specialty variety whenever I go to Walmart. But I don't care. I'm just canning these apples. No one's going to notice the difference. No one's going to even notice that I mixed 2 kinds of apples together. So, these ones are coming off the spit a lot better. I kind of like that. Anyway, whoop. So I saw these bags of apples, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna can my own apples, because my grandma was like, yeah, you can do just about anything. She says, if you wanted to just make some applesauce for the kids, because y'all know I got kids. She's like, just take your jar of apples and just very easily pour it in a blender and blend it up. She said drain off the juices first and add the juices slowly, just in case you have too many juices in your jar. And I was like, okay, good to know. It's a really long stem. Come here, you. Ah! I think I'm gonna do these next 2, damn it, apples, and then I'm going to go empty out my garbage bowl. Wrong way. What is that? I thought it was a slug on my finger for a second. That really freaked me out. Oh yeah, do you like my hair? This is the first time I was streaming with my new hair. I didn't even think about that, because I had my hair cut for a while. I decided to donate my ponytail to Pantene. It's called Beautiful Lengths. They make wigs just like Locks of Love, and then they give the wigs to the American Cancer Society, and the ACS gives wigs to cancer patients for free. So, I mean, you know, there's an application process and all of that, but the reason why I chose Pantene over Locks of Love is because I found out that Locks of Love actually charges for their hair pieces $3,500 to $6,000 per wig. And I was like, oh, my hair ain't worth that much. Besides, they say it takes 10 ponytails to make a hairpiece, where Pantene can get away with as few as 6 to 8, depending on who they're making it for. Like, children don't need as much hair. So I did that. I have before and after pictures. Maybe I'll insert them into my video if I remember that I even talked about it when I go to editing. Kitty, I'm cutting apples. I have 3 cats here that are like, we want you. Here, let me show you guys. Okay, so over there is it. Well, that's Princess, the fat one right there, the gray one. The little kitten over there, her name is Angel, and that is Simon. He says, "What do you got for me, Mom? I don't want petted. What do you got for me? What do you got for me?" I mean, seriously. What am I supposed to do with these guys? Let me put this down here before I make a camera oopsie or something. That'd be kind of funny. So, don't you be groaning at me. I don't know why it suddenly took like a very large chunk out of that apple. And my dog is obsessed with licking himself. Excuse me. Marley! Get down. Good God. There's nothing grosser than the sound of a dog licking himself. And I mean there. It's like he just can't get enough of himself. Like he's some horny young teenager or something. I mean, I know that sounds terrible, but let's face it, it's true. I wonder how many jars I can get from this. I'm kind of excited because I can make apple pies. Mostly I'll probably just make applesauce. I'll use my Ninja and grind it up. I'm going to rinse my hands and then go dump this. Okay. Go dump this. I gotta get you down. Get down. Okay. All right. Poor apples. Stop. No, not going anywhere. You'll be the first to die. In fact, just for being defiant, I will slice you first. Bitches, hold on. We gotta run away. That one was totally my fault. Okay. This isn't even the hard part. So, after I pour the boiling molten lava, sugary, syrupy liquid over the apples, then in a separate sauce pot, I'll already have boiling the lids for the cans, jars. You know, the lids that come on here that you have to pop the seal off. So those have to be boiled. And then those will go on from boiling hot. I'll also have to wipe down the rim too, make sure that's nice and clean. Then I put the ring down, which you can see over my shoulder. There's a whole string of rings. That's not supposed to be a pun. They're actually on a metal coat hanger that I bent specifically for those. Because I copied my gamma. Let me see. My hand is really cold. I really should close that window. I thought all the windows were closed. I guess I missed that window. It's like freaking incredibly cold outside right now. And then when I run out of quart jars, I have pint jars. Actually, I think they're half pints. I'm not sure. I might be wrong. I have to look at them again. I had canned applesauce last year, but I already pureed it and I added butter to the recipe, and I should never have added butter. And so I just tossed the whole batch, and I felt really bad because I got the apples from an orchard, a local orchard, so I had spent better money on getting better apples, you know, heirloom ones that are local. Get down in there. You're not allowed to oxidize. They're kind of breaking apart on me. Angel. Poof. I just flicked some water on her. And she's like, run away! She was a cute kitten. Until she became too curious and playful. Ah! Quit flicking peel at me. So, I'm back to knitting too. I'm knitting some winter projects, making some fingerless gloves with some lace yarn, and really upping my skill level as far as knitting goes. And I'm having a blast with it, actually. I only took a break tonight because I wanted to can these apples, because this is easy peasy. I only have one more bag of apples to do, and I think I'll hold off for now and save those for the kids. I think I'll just can what I have. I tried to put it on the stem before I pulled it back. So, not much is new. It was definitely hard quitting my job, but I'm still really glad that I went through and did what I did, because my mental health was really starting to collapse. I'm sure you guys saw on the later videos just how unstable I was becoming, and for anybody who's been sticking out there for me this whole time, and you know, staying by my side and whatever, I just thank you, because my sickness is hard to understand. It's hard to comprehend, and I never did an after video on quitting the day I did, because after I left work the second time, because I forgot something on the first time, I ended up calling my hubby, and he and I talked the whole way home, and I pretty much cried my eyes out. So, yeah, it was very emotional. I mean, I was irritated at certain aspects of my job, but at the same time, it has been the best job of my life in my career. So it was just a very difficult choice to make. And I had to I filed for unemployment, and I had to fight for it, and I won, because I proved that there was no other alternative that my company could offer me to get me to stay. And because of that, unless they're going to appeal, which I don't think they are, I got to keep my reward. So, anyway, I'm going to pause the video for now. I'm going to figure out this canning thing and get that process started, and then I'll tune back in a little bit here. Alright guys, see you in a few minutes. Okay, hi, welcome back. It's Crimson Fairy. This is part 2 of me apple canning. I've got basically everything set up. I'm just kind of working on my kitchen here. I've got you in a place, but I don't really like where you are. So if I find a better place, like, I think I might actually stick you up in my cupboard. Let's see. to see something. Let's see how this works. Then it's like one of those, oh, for heaven's sake, come on. Sort of, kind of, maybe. But when I step over here, I'll be out of camera shot. Can't really put you in my drink glass. I will make this work. That kind of works. You're my drink cupboard. Alright, so here, I'll just give you kind of a tour of what's going on. This is my big canning pot. This is where the water, the water is boiling in here. And it sounds like it's boiling now. Let's take a peek at it. No, it's still not boiling yet. I keep the lid on it because that'll make it boil faster. What is boiling is my canning lids. They have to be in boiling water to sanitize, and also they are the key to make the canning snap here. And then in this saucepan, this is where I have my sugar and water mixture. It's really hard to see. I think I'm going to turn down the boil temp on it now that it finally got to boil. You guys, all it is just water and sugar. I just use the same water that was in can't talk, where the apples were chilling. Here's the apples. The jars have been wiped down, filled, and this one here is ready to go with its first liquid. I've got my rings, that's what they're called. These are called rings. I've got my rings ready to go to twist on after my lids have been put on. And then this is to allow me to pick up and place my jars into the water bath. That's what that's called. It's called a water bath. I really wish there was another place for me to stick you, but I'm gonna have to stick you for right here for right now. I got something I gotta do. I need to go find, you can kind of be crooked, I guess. I need to go find some starch, because I don't remember where I put my starch. And now I feel like an idiot. So we look through some cupboards. I bet my starch is in my closet. Alright, let me turn that one down a little bit. You guys can still see me? Yeah, I'm just cooking at the stove here. I don't know if you can hear me okay or not over there, but I'm just stirring and working and waiting for all this to kind of be done. I'm going to put that lid back on. I'm going to turn that burner down a little bit too. I'll be right back. Okay, good news. I found my starch. Alright. I'm just going to use the pitcher I used to measure my water. This is just a Pyrex 4-cup measuring cup. This thing is my baby. I want a second one, honestly. I use it so often. So there's no real measurement to this. I keep getting stuff on me. I'm just going to get a tablespoon, and not even a real one, just a metal spoon. And I'm going to get a little whisk, and then I'm going to pull out my big whisk for that. So I'm going to set down my big whisk and set it aside. And get some starch. kind of stirred up a little bit because it's settled. I haven't used it in a while. I'm probably going to use, I'd say about that much for starters. Remember, you can always add more. Like, I'm adding more. After I put it in there, it looked like I needed more. Now I need a ladle. Oh, here we go. Because what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go right in this pot. Shake off the excess. Set that lid down. I need a bigger kitchen. I'm going to get some water. Not very much. Because if you get too much, then you won't be able to get the lumps out. So you get just enough. And you take your little whisk. And see, since this water was already boiling, it basically activated the starch, which is fine. And all you do is you just take your whisk and you just stir. That's all you do. You just stir. It's nice and creamy. It kind of looks like milk. The consistency is a little bit of a thin gravy. What you see here? Okay. So, the way you use a roux, which that's what this is called, is you have to stir it in slowly, like drizzle it into whatever you're adding it to. So I'm going to shake this whisk and set it aside just in case I still need it. And set my starch aside. Now I've covered that whisk, so I need to unbury it. I'll take my bigger whisk because it's a bigger pot and I have to stir it as I'm slowly drizzling. So that's what you're going to see me do. I'm going to get this ladle out of my way. So I'm whisking and I drizzle. And what happens is the heat of this mixture is activating the molecules, the cornstarch molecules of the plant and causing them to expand and absorb. And as they do so, they will thicken the liquid. As you can see, I'm steaming up a little bit over here. So you just continue to whisk. It has to be a certain temperature in order for starch to be activated. I believe it's 185 degrees, but I could be mistaken. I've watched a lot of Alton Brown in my days. And that's still looking a lot too thin for me. So what I'm going to do is set that down and start the whole process over. Put my 2 scoops of starch in. Go get my ladle. And ladle just enough liquid to stir. Get my whisk. And here, I'll show you what it looks like when you start, because you can be discouraged, but trust me, don't be discouraged. It's kind of lumpy and it seems like glue. That's a good description for it. It's like really hot glue. You don't have to use a hot liquid. I could just use tap water if I wanted to. But I decided to use the water that's in that pot because, number one, I'm already going to use it, and that way I'm not going to add volume to it. I've already added 2 extra cups than what I needed just in case. So now we have our little paste again. Kind of shake that off. I can't hold the camera and do this at the same time. It requires too much concentration and function for me to do that. Here we go. Get the camera a little straighter. Alright, where's my big whisk? Actually, it's not quite boiling anymore. So I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit again. There, it's boiling some. And I just stir right exactly where I'm pouring the starch in. And the dish will take care of itself. Now this is actually a really awkward position for me to be in and do this. Ladle, where'd it go? So what I'm going to do is just get every last bit of starch out of here. I don't can a lot, but I cook a lot of soups. So making a roux is something that's pretty natural to me. Alright. Now see, if you let a roux sit, the cornstarch, if it's not activated, will settle. So you have to kind of keep it moving. And when you're done with your roux, you have to go right to your pot. I can't see over this pot. Let me see something. That didn't make it any better. I don't want to burn my boobs. I think this is boiling. No, that won't work. Okay, that is a rolling boil. That is good. Alright, so our water bath is ready. But I don't know if my liquid is. Because I honestly thought that my grandma said that it needed to be thick like gravy. And if that's the case, then I need a whole lot more starch. Another thing too is starch infused liquids, as they cool, will thicken. Like if you ever read those recipes that like a Lipton side dish or something, or Knorr, I think it's actually made by a rice or a noodle, and it still looks really runny, but it's done, and then the package says will thicken as it stands, is because the package contained a starch type ingredient to allow it to thicken once it was done. Now I'm not going to be letting it cool, so I'm just going to have to trust my gut. And my gut says more starch. And my gut's usually right, so I'm going to go with that. I'm going to add another ladle of sauce. And this will be my last one. I really like doing this. This is a lot of fun. Last year I made canned peaches. That was not a lot of fun. That was not fun at all. I did 30 pounds of Georgia peaches. Actually, it was in August of 2014. Uh-oh, that one still had some lumps in it. Should be okay. And then I'm going to want to taste that for sweetness. Okay, add a little bit of that. Get my remnants of roux. The watered down stuff doesn't really have to be stirred in very slowly. Alright. Alright, so let me just put the lid on that for a minute. Set my spoon aside. And what I want to do is I want to, I have a set of Japanese spoons, soup spoons, and these are perfect for sampling things like when I'm making stews and other soups, and it gives me the perfect spoonful, but I can blow on it without it falling out. So this will also help determine the viscosity of my sauce. It's a sauce. I also want to taste it for the sweetness, because if it needs more sugar, I need to add some more sugar. Alright. Feels pretty sticky. Tastes pretty sweet. Remember, it's got to have that cool down period in order for the starch to actually thicken up. That's why if you have a really hot gravy won't actually be thick until it gets to a cool enough edible temperature. If you make gravy that's thick at a boiling temperature, you're going to have sludge. Believe me, my husband has done that. It's not a pretty sight. You don't want to do it. I'm kind of looking for sort of a slimy feel without it being kind of gross sounding. The slimy feel would be coming from the sugar. Now, that actually tastes very good. There's a slight apple taste to it already because I had the apples bathing in it. And it's just a really wonderful taste. Yep, I think we've reached the desired thickness here. So here, I'll add that to my dirty dish collection. Oh, no. I'm going to use this to pour. This is the dirty dish collection. And close up my starch, which I just use. I put the box into an airtight container. I've had this starch for probably a couple years now because starch is used just a little of it. I only had to use so much because I've got a very large pot of liquid. So I'll just put that over there on the table for now. Let me give this a rinse. I've got some like weird roux juju going on. So, tell me what you guys think of Faery in the kitchen. I mean, I know this is kind of an impromptu thing. It's not really me cooking a meal or something. It's canning, but canning can be just as fun. And by the way, these are my homemade hand towels that I crocheted toppers to. Alright, so this liquid is good. I am going to turn off the heat, because it's going to stay hot for a while. I'm actually going to be transferring it over anyway. This is the part that kind of makes me nervous because I don't like a lot of hot things. So now that that burner's off, I'm going to put a lid on it. This is for me to help grip, to tighten the rings down on, because I need to make sure that those are on nice and tight. They will help seal the lids here. In just a moment, I will, I have a little towel. I already wiped off my rims here of the jars. The jars must be completely clean here, clean and dry, especially here where the rubber seal will hit whenever the lid is on the mason jar. Now, these jars got a little wet and heated because of the steam, so I'm going to come by and kind of re-dry everybody off where it needs to be dried, where it counts the most. But I have my funnel here that's going to help me get the liquid in there without getting that lid dirty. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then I think I can fit all 5 of these puppies in this bath at one time without much difficulty. So, next step is I need tongs. Luckily, I have a clean pair right here. Alright, so, oh, that's not the next step, but I have them when I'm ready for them. Now the next step is actually the liquid. I'm trying to think of how I want to do this. Alright, let's take my ladle. Ow, that was hot. I got my wrist. It's all good. I'm okay. Alright, so I'm going to grab this. I'm going to start ladling out. My juice. Yeah, this looks great. I'm going to try and get 4 cups here. Because according to my displacement theory that you guys remember in the first part I talked about, it was 2 cups of liquid needed for 1 jar filled with apples. So here is just a smidgen, as my grandmother would say. Smidgen over 4 cups. Put that in my good hand. I'm going to pour that right over top of these apples. I'm going to bring the camera down for you guys here in a minute so you can see that. And I'm going to stop at the bottom of the funnel. Actually, I'm going to go right there. Put the funnel in the next one. And I'm going to get my cloth, my tongs. And I'm going to get 1 lid and dry it off. Get my ring. Alright, so this one is ready to go. And that took not even 2 whole cups. It's because I jiggled more in there than I did the first time on my try around here. So there, you get a good view of the jar. I'm going to take my liquid. I'm going to pour that right in. Right up to, I'm just going to go right past the bottom of the funnel there. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay. I'm going to clean my rim one more time. Go get a lid. Dry it off. This has got to be nice and dry. Put my lid on. Get another ring. Alright. Another jar ready. Pull this one up. I don't think I have enough liquid, so let me get my ladle. I'd pour it directly from here into the thing, but I'm afraid that it would slosh or drip down the edge, and because it's still basically boiling water or syrup at this point, I don't want to risk hurting myself. So I'm just going to get another fresh 4 cups, excuse me. I'll just leave that ladle right in there. Because this, well, no, it won't be quite enough. Alright, so I'll do the next one. Alright. Alright guys, hang tight one moment. Okay, so I almost lost you guys because the battery almost died, but I found the charger. Yay! So here, let me put you back. Alright. Wipe down that one. Oh my goodness. Ow, 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 ow. Boiling water is hot. You know what? Where did... There it is. Okay. Okay. 3 down. 2 more to go. Okay. Wipe down that rim. It's very important to never forget that. That'll be the last of that. I can turn the heat off there. See, they're kind of already sealing, but I still need to, that little snap, if you heard it, that was one of the jars deciding to go ahead and seal itself. I'm just tightening that one down. I got one more to do, and then they're going in for their bath. I gotta get some more juice. Oh yeah, guys, you should see this thickening up now. This is great stuff. Alright, so that's more than enough for this last jar. Bring him on over. And we'll just very gently pour the water over these apples. I keep calling it water, but it's actually a syrup at this point. Oh, and I need more. Thought I had enough and I need more. I don't need much, but I do need to cover these apples. That's very important. Alright, that'll be enough. Okay. Now, since I don't have any more jars to put this in, and I'm done with my funnel, I'm just going to put this in with my wash bucket. I'll push that to the back. Take my rag and gently wipe the edge. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got a problem. Okay, that didn't seal. One of these has 2 lids. And it's not that one. It's not that one. Uh-oh. And down with the camera. There we go. Okay, I was just really dumb. Alright. Hold on. I know I counted 5. Alright, so it's just got to sit there for a second. I can't believe I did that. I counted those. I have enough rings. Alright. Luckily for me, heat travels in these little metal rings pretty quickly. The only purpose of these rings are actually just to hold on the lids while it cooks. And the tighter you can get it, the better seal you'll have. Alright, so now we're ready to drop it in our water bath. Grandma says it's a 5-minute water bath. So I'm going to put you back up in my cupboard so y'all can get a good look at this. I'm getting a little red from all the heat and the steam here. Alright, so there you can see my pot. What up, Wolfie?
I was attempting not to interrupt you.
Just canning. Alright. Now, you can see this big old steaming pot. I'm going to set the lid down right there. And that's what this is for. This is going to help it off-rack. Well, hold on. There might be enough water in here once I displace all these bad guys. Oh, sugars. Please do the job. Please do the job. Oh, just barely gonna get that job done. Would you go get me the gallon pitcher, please? The one we use to top off the fish tank with. This is like an absolute no-no, but I'm gonna add just a smidgen of water. I just need a little bit more. I'm going to add it very slowly and hope that it doesn't take the boil down too much. Because I really only need a little bit. Because a water bath there. That's enough. Okay. Now, I'm going to put that on for 8 minutes. So I'll see you guys back in 8 minutes. Alright guys, welcome back. We are at the end of our 8 minutes here. And I just realized like 2 minutes ago that I made a really big mistake. Because I'm not using a basket to put my jars in. I should have weaved a towel in between the jars to keep them from clicking on each other. Well, they were clicking and it made me very nervous because I just didn't want anything really bad to happen. Alright, so now I have my jars. I'm just going to take them out of the bath. And I'm very simply just going to tip some of the excess water off the top of it and set it on a towel on my table. And they're intentionally going to be separated. I've already turned the water off on the stove. Okay. There we go. Get the last one out. Now, if I was doing more, I would probably add a little bit more water to it and put the lid back on and leave it on and boil. But since I'm done, Just gonna take a towel, just an old towel. I'm gonna blanket them, tuck them into bed. And there they're gonna sit overnight, just like that. And what that's gonna do, especially here in PA, it's starting to get really cold out. I think as cold as it feels right now, I think we might even get a frost tonight again. So what that is going to do is it's going to prevent any cold drafts from hitting them too quickly and chilling too quickly. If that happens, that can cause the mason jars to break or explode, and I really don't want to have that happen in my kitchen. I have small children and I don't want them to be harmed in any way. So here, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to set you down again. Yeah, it's cool enough. Oh my god. Okay. Nope. I'm gonna have my husband do that. This is how much juice that I had left over. I'm going to let this cool. It's very sticky. And very tasty. And I'm gonna pour it into a container and save it because there's no reason why I should waste it when it's perfectly good. I can use it as a starter for my next batch or something, and just keep adding to it or whatever. Just make a small batch. That's about 4 3/4 cups right there. So anyway, this has been my vlog today. Sorry it was a little on the long side. I felt like doing this and I wanted to get it done, and the easiest time for me to get things done is usually when the kids are either not at home, like if they're in school, or at night. Usually at nighttime is when I'm feeling my friskiest and I like to do things. So if you have any requests, give me a shout. Send me a like, or not a like, but a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think. And I will get back at you guys next time. This has been Crimson Fairy, cooking in the kitchen. Bye!